Welcome back, guys, to another episode of FiReview, where we discuss the latest in music and entertainment. I'm Keegan, your host, back again with Kevin from Wonder Vapor Review, and this week we have something especially fire to talk about, a music tour idea, along with our top 5 picks for best Super Bowl commercials. What we need to see in 2020 is an OG hip-hop tour. I'm talking about getting Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, 50 Cent, Snoop, MC Ren.
I would definitely want to go see that.
I mean, I think it'd be amazing, too, because I remember, these guys are kind of, responsible for this entire, evolution of music we have. You know what I mean? If you think about it, Dr. Dre, in part, is responsible for the entire evolution of hip-hop. Because, it started out with, the West Coast hip-hop, and then it kind of, transformed into rap, and then, pop, and then, now we're in trap music. You know what I'm saying?
Those guys are, they're like the Godfathers.
They call Eazy-E the Godfather of gangster rap.
I feel like Ice Cube would be more gangster than Eazy-E, I felt like.
Actually, Ice Cube was the only one that never was in a gang.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's funny, because he actually wasn't even from Compton either.
Go Chiefs!
The top 5 commercials, the Google one.
Some people were saying, it's like Alzheimer's and dementia. I mean, you could really, interpret a lot of these commercials any way you wanted, which I think was really a interesting part of a lot of them. A lot of the commercials didn't really have a definitive theme. They were kind of open to interpretation.
Right.
You could kind of swing either way on them. I personally didn't think it was a dementia, Alzheimer's type commercial. I thought it was just as people get older, your memory fades away. Your brain's not as strong as it used to be. It's not as quick as it was.
Right.
So it's definitely it was definitely cool too, because a lot of people don't really think of Google as a company like this. They think of Google as a search engine. You go to it, you put in a question, and it spits out data. You put in data, and it spits data back out at you. People don't think about Google as this this company that provides you with these devices, with these tools that you can use, in your life that can help you, that can actually be beneficial for you.
Right.
So if it's you don't want to forget, you can use the Google Home to remember things.
Right. And that's pretty amazing. Google is more than a search engine. It can do these other things.
And it's like a service.
Right, it's become a service now. So the next one that I had to pick was the Hulu Tom Brady commercial.
Yeah, I wish that one actually was about him retiring.
Yeah, see, the funny thing about that was, it all had us thinking, what is this about, right? It comes into the scene, and everybody's got that, thought, what's this commercial going to be about? Is he retired? What's going on? And then they, switch it right at the end, which I thought was very clever. You know what I mean? Because it kind of captures you in the beginning. You know what I mean? Because, it doesn't really give it away, what the commercial's about. I thought that was very clever.
Going on Hulu, one thing that, because we watch a lot of Hulu. We have Hulu, and
we do.
I have Hulu without commercials, and that's great because I hate commercials. It's one of the reasons why you get a streaming service.
Right, to avoid the commercials.
That's why I love Netflix so much when it came out, because there weren't any commercials. You just got you want to watch a TV show on Netflix, you could.
Right, and you can just watch them straight through, no commercials, no interruptions.
Right.
Bam.
However, one thing that I like about Netflix that Hulu doesn't quite have yet is the skipping intro feature. When I'm watching Family Guy or South Park or any show really, those two mainly, I hate listening to the intros all the time. The Family Guy intro over and over again.
Because it's we're taking out the commercials so you get through them faster.
Right.
And then you're just hitting the titles again.
Right, so it's if you could just take out the wait time on the title screen.
Yeah.
And the commercials, you essentially are just streaming content.
Right.
Just straight TV content all the time.
And I think that's the next level of streaming, honestly. That's the next level of entertainment, period, is all content streaming. Mm-hmm. No commercials, no intros. It's just pure content. You know what I'm saying?
TV on at all times. You're already paying to not have commercials, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you just pay to get an extra feature?
Exactly.
That will then make your experience more enjoyable. It's going to be quite the times when people are talking about cable as if it was some form of ancient technology.
Right. It's happening fast, man. I'm telling you, like as we get more advanced with like phones and stuff and streaming, it's only gonna get, farther. The cable's gonna become more and more a thing of the past.
5G.
Yeah, the 5G especially. So moving on to our next commercial, the Walmart commercial with the Rocket Man theme song in the background. Like now, I think that was a really great idea because like everybody knows the song Rocket Man by Elton John. And the interesting thing they did was they took out the words, so it was just kind of like the instrumental. Because when I first heard that commercial, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, it's the song, but you're expecting to hear like the words. You know what I mean? But you just hear the music, so it's like, oh, cool. Like, what is that? And the way they kind of like used it in the commercial, I thought was very good. So the Groundhog's Day commercial, right?
I think that was probably like my favorite one because like I don't know about you, man, but I like really love the movie Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
So when they really brought back like all the kind of like the characters from the movie, and they kind of recreated some of the scenes. It's such like a nostalgic movie.
It was a great movie, and funnily enough, like the Super Bowl was on Groundhog's Day. Like that Sunday was Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, I didn't.
So like that was hilarious how that like happened to like sync up. Like I'm glad they took advantage of that and made a great commercial. Bill Murray, how he's older in the film. Like I thought that was funny too. And then the Alexa commercial.
That one was kind of funny with Ellen.
Yeah, with Ellen, of course. Like that's one of the best ones I thought. I mean, I thought it was really clever how they, portrayed Alexa. It was funny how like they showed throughout like history, right? Like, what did we do before Alexa? And then like each person who did that was like some form of the name Alexa,
right?
Because like Alex, like what's the mother like or whatever, and then like the bird too with like the message. I thought that was so clever.
A lot of these companies, not just Amazon, but like all of these companies that we mentioned, they use the Super Bowl as like a platform to kind of launch, maybe like to do PR, to launch campaigns.
Last we had the Facebook commercial. Now, it's funny because like Facebook, that's one of the first times I've seen a Facebook commercial. You know what I mean? Like they're not very common.
Well, they've had a couple. Other ones were like the Portal.
Right, I've seen the frame.
What actually is Facebook? Is like it's a social network platform.
Right, but it's not like a physical thing. You know what I mean? So it's like we're seeing advertisements for companies that like produce something that's not even physical. Like it's all like on the internet.
Like it shows you just how like weird, like all the weird things you can find. Like if you have a weird hobby, it's probably on Facebook.
It's almost like it doesn't even need to advertise, just because 2 billion people are already on Facebook. Yeah, it's like who doesn't know about Facebook? We have to mention the Doritos commercial with the Old Town Road song. Now, like if you guys watched our last episode, we were talking about how that song is still going on. It showed up in the Grammys, and now here we see it again in the Super Bowl.
Why do people still think it's like funny?
It's just because like that song has become more than a song. It's become like a meme. Speaking of music, the halftime show.
Halftime show was phenomenal.
I thought it was excellent.
I love J-Lo and Shakira shaking their ass in my face for, what was that, 15, 20 minutes? Oh, that was amazing.
And then they also did some really cool like remixes, like the Cardi B one with I Like It, like you know what I'm saying? That was pretty fire. They had Bad Bunny come in. Shakira did like a couple of her songs, like Hips Don't Lie. I thought that was really cool, like arrangement. It looked really cool. Yeah. And also they kind of remixed it a little bit, But yeah, I thought
she was playing the drums.
Yeah, I know. That was crazy, right? All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming into this episode. Join us next week for another interesting topic. But as always, keep listening, keep it real, and keep it unbelievably fire.